Todd Howard did it again. The madman released Skyrim for the 6th billionth time. There were many things they added into the game, and fishing was one of them. You now can go fishing in the land of Skyrim. But did you know that a fishing rod can also deal damage? Yes, yes they can. And now we're going to find out, can you beat Skyrim with only a fishing rod? I started the game and picked Kachit for this playthrough. And because I couldn't think of something smart, I just named him Paw Paw Mancat. It's just a brain fart. I let Redlov to do all of the works for me, and after he cleaned out the path, I went straight into a small hunter camp located near Embershard Mines and picked up her fishing rod. A fishing rod deals 3 points of damage, lower than an iron dagger, but usable. I tested the weapon to a bandit, and it was surprisingly sharp for a wood stick. I leveled up and wondered if the perk affects the fishing rod, and it did. Now the rod deals 4 points of damage. Nothing much, but hey, it's something. I finished the dungeon and then head to Below Anis's cabin to get a flawless emerald. After that, I spotted a group of bandits, just walking. And I thought they didn't see me, until they did. I tried to kill them, but my fishing rod was no match for their mighty arsenals, so I ran like a pussy. I crossed a river and it turns out they have one weakness: water. Pretty pathetic, I must say, because firstly I am a cat and secondly it wasn't even that deep. I smacked them many times with the help of Riverwood citizens and finally got them killed. The other 2 bandits were still alive though, so I tracked them and killed them. Almost felt sorry for the last guy. He just wanted to keep his dignity by not getting killed by a cat with a fishing rod. But I killed him anyway. And then I head to a small fishing place in the Riverwood and got myself a second fishing rod. But I prefer doing this playthrough with one fishing rod simply because you can block. I arrived in Bleak Falls Barrow and decided to go back to Riverwood because I forgot to sell all of my stuff that I picked. I head back to Bleak Falls Barrow and then kill every single bandit in my way. Inside the temple, not a single thing could defeat a cat with a freaking fishing rod. I thought to myself, they're pretty pathetic, but then I faced this giant spider. She got me good. I almost died a couple of times, and for the second time in this playthrough, I felt fear. But I eventually killed her and then smacked Arvel to death. I continued my way deeper inside the dungeon and faced the Droggers. And I must say they are pretty tough. Flash forward, I arrived at the main chamber where they keep the Dragonstone. I loaded the chest first and then read the demonic scratches. The Drogger Overlord woke up, and he is tougher than the spider. I used lots of healing spells and smacked him many times, and thank God, he finally fell to the ground. I gave the golden claw back to its owners and then head to Whiterun. On my way there, I met Maik the Liar, and of course, like he always does, shared his wisdom. In Dragon's Reach, I told the Jarl about the Helgen incident, and then visit Varangar and gave him the Dragonstone. After that, the Jarl has been told about the sighting of a dragon near the Western Watchtower, so he sent me and his men there. When I arrived, I fished the dragon to the tower, and then we attacked him. I died once, and that was embarrassing, but I eventually killed the oversized lizard. After the fight, I realized that I wasn't strong enough. The fishing rod neither can be upgraded using the grindstone nor enchanted. So, my only way to improve the damage of the stick was using one-handed damage perk and 100 increased damage apparel enchantment. So, I decided to go to Town Store and start upgrading my enchantment skill. Brought Lydia with me just in case if I over-encumbered. I opened a secret chest and start taking any septims, soul gems, and enchanted clothes in it, and start doing my thing with the enchantment table. I leveled up to level 9 and my enchanting skill level 34. Then, I decided to continue it later by continuing the main quest to go to Hyde Hrothgar. On my way there, I encountered a hunter, and because my legs were tired, I decided to borrow the horse from her. On my way, my horse and I got attacked by 2 wolves, so we took cover inside the fences of Alchemist's shack. Don't ask why, but I decided to kill the horse. Again, don't ask why, I don't have the answer for it. And the horse almost killed me multiple times. I arrived in Ivarstead and started my first step for the 7,000 steps. On my way up, I encountered a spider and smacked her with my rod. A few steps later, a lone hungry ice wolf spotted me and decided to attack me. It was tough. I died once, but I eventually killed it. And then there's the frost throw. Combining the fact that I got killed by an ice wolf and struggled to kill a frostbite spider, I decided that I don't want to mess with the three-eyed ape, so I sneak around the troll and just leave him be, so that he'll leave me be. I finally arrived in High Hrothgar and let the greybeards train me. After the training was done, I went to Riverwood to sell a few things. I found myself surprised when two cultists approached me and started talking. Of course, I ignored them and head inside the Riverwood Trader. After everything's done, I was shocked yet pleased when I found out that the guards attacked the cultists, which means that I don't have to swing my rod to kill them, cause that would be a pain in the arse. On my way to Ustengrav to retrieve Jurgen Windcolor's horn, I encountered another problem, now in the form of a group of bandits. I had managed to kill the bandits, but left the mage one to bully me. I decided to run and hide from the mage to heal myself, and when my strength has been shaped, I could finally kill him. And when I thought that bandit encounter was hard, what awaits me inside the dungeon was worse. The mages inside could drain my health like I drained a glass full of milk. Thinking logically that I could not possibly kill them all with a fishing rod, I decided to run and went back to Dawnstar to continue to increase my enchanting skill. That day was my lucky day. There was a caravan right outside the town, a perfect money giver. I load stuff, enchant, sell, quick save, smack the trader, reload and reset the trader's inventory, rinse and repeat. I did this until my enchanting skill has reached level 50. And all of that work was kinda worth it. I compared the damage of the fishing rod with and without the enchanted armor, and it does increase damage, but just a little, enough to damage someone's feeling, but not enough to kill them. Back in Ustengrav, I decided to sneak around, but unfortunately, due to my low sneaking skill, they found me. So I ran, hooked a few draggers' attention on the way, but I managed to keep myself alive by the power of restoration. Inside Ustengrav depths, the mages had managed to follow me. I didn't see them, but I can hear them. So of course, I ran. These mages and draggers were like a dog shit that stuck on your shoe that you can't seem to lose. They are pretty annoying, honestly. Anyway, I lost them somehow, and I could finally continue my way with peace. Met a few skeletons along the way, but they were nothing but a piece of cake. In the frostbite spider room, I shaped my bravery by ignoring them and just ran, and smashed their webs, and I used a door to lose them. When I found out that the horn was missing, I could smell a peach in the room. That I had a feeling that she and her friend would force me to kill a friendly dragon. I don't know, it's just a feeling, huh? Going out from the dungeon, I encountered the mages again. I insulted them, not by running, but by ignoring them. I went to Riverwood to meet Delphine, and then we head to the dragon burial site to spawn kill the lizard. A dragon should have been a challenge for me, but a freaking ice wolf was more challenging than a dragon ever could. I mean, seriously, defeating the lizard was easy. After that, we went back to Riverwood Inn and planning to infiltrate the Thalmor Embassy. After the plan was cooked, I went to Solitude to meet Malborn. I gave him my fishing rod, armors, potions, and all of my food. I could sense him judging me for having many cheese in my inventory, but I urged myself to ignore him. And when everything was ready, I head to the embassy. I must say the party was not much of a party when there were only a few people attend the party. Pretty pathetic party if I am being honest. To make things kinda interesting, I distracted everyone and then follow Malborn and collect my stuff. Trying to pass the guards inside the embassy, I picked a full set of Thalmor rope, bottom on, and walked like a proud tall Thalmor. Of course, they didn't buy it, they're not idiots. So I went with plan B by simply killing everyone and defile every corpse. That plan worked well. Wondrously actually, and then I went back to Delphine to tell her about Esbern. Then I went to Riften to find Esbern, but then everyone got angry because a lizard bullies a farmer nearby. This is community works right here, stay together, stay strong. But I died. After all of that trouble, I entered the city, ignored a talk, and forgot that I don't have to do Brynjolf's bullshit to reach Esbern. So I just went straight into the right way. Inside the right way, I thought everything was going to be fine and dandy. But I forgot the only weapon I got was a fishing rod, so everything was hard and saddy. Although I ignored the two bandits at the start of the right way, I managed to defeat the others and go to the right way vaults. Inside, I just ran towards the right way warrens before the Thalmor could see me. I found Ashburn, but a Thalmor found us. I took matters to my own hands by bullying the poor Thalmor with my fishing rod, reminded him of his childhood, of how his mother used to smack him with the same identical rod if he got naughty. Good thing I ended his misery, no? Outside the warrens, I don't even want to bother, so I ignored the Thalmor. I thought when I reached the door to the Ragged Flagon, I was safe. But then the Thalmors were suddenly spawned behind me. Remember this moment, because it will be a big problem later. I promise you. I played with them for a while, but I just wasted my time, so I ran and hoped that Ashburn will follow me. I got out and he did follow me. Oh, thank God. Outside, an angry kitty approached me. She swung her dagger angrily towards me, because I bullied a Thalmor to death. I assumed that she was the Thalmor's mate when he was a child. I've experienced a time with a woman like this once in my dream, so I think I am more than capable to handle her. I took Ashburn back to Delphin and then we went to the Skyhaven temple. Inside, we killed a few Forswans, solved a puzzle, and because I haven't played the main quest of Skyrim for a long time, I forgot that there was another puzzle and I died. When I reached the temple, I got the knowledge about how to defeat Alduin. I just have to shout 3 main words to defeat the lizard. Before I go, I went to the armory to get some sweet blades armor, to make myself look like a proper samurai. Of course, that means I have to enchant those armor. But I also enchanted a ring and a necklace to increase my one-handed skill. After everything was done, it was time for me to go to the throat of the world to meet Patornax. I faced a few icy problems on the way, but like a pussy, I ran. I met Patornax and he told me to get an Elder Scroll. I went to College of Winterhold to find some information about the scroll's whereabouts, and found out that it was inside a dwarven ruins. I went to Septimus Signus Outpost to get the blank lexicon and attunement sphere. From Winterhold, I was on my way through this hard-fought land to reach Alftand. And I just remembered that heavy armor drains the player's stamina more, so I took them off and ran nakedly with fur. When I reached the ruins, I put on my armor swiftly and got ready for anything. I knew I should have prepared more potions and food to heal myself, but it was all too late. The Dwemer robots were too tough for me to handle, so I just ran. But when I see a Thalmor, I knew I was fucked in the first place. I tried to ignore them as much as I could by running and jumping, avoiding them at any cost. And when I thought I had escaped from them, I was dead wrong. In another room, they all teleported in front of me. I panicked and ran and fell into a trap and died. Then I got an idea. The idea was about running without activating the trap, so that the Thalmors would be the ones who would get killed or at least stunned by the trap. The plan worked, but many still survived though. But then I woke up a Dwarven Centurion and used it for my advantage by distracting the angry snow elves. I finally reached Blackridge, but there was still one problem. I am still a pussy. I ran and jumped nakedly, and finally get into Tower of Zark. I got the scroll and then head straight into the throat of the world and read it. I saw the pass, and it was time for me to face Alduin. Alduin was not the easiest enemy in this playthrough, but I must say, for a dragon he sure was the weakest. I defeated him, but that was not enough. I need to pull his soul in the afterlife in order to properly end him. Then, I need to trap a dragon in Dragon's Reach, but before that could happen, I need to arbitrate Ulfric and Tullius in order to make them negotiate an agreement. The negotiation was long, probably the hardest part in this whole playthrough, but I had managed to survive. After that was done, Ashburn asked me to do his bullshit favor of killing Patornax. I, like a true Skyrim player, refused to kill the friendly lizard. I went to Dragon's Reach, leveled up my one-handed and heavy armor skill, and then I was ready to hook the dragon. I failed for the first time, but I succeeded for the second time. I asked him to ride on top of him in order to reach Sovngarde, and he agreed. I arrived at the Skoldaven temple and again ignored the hostiles. I am maybe dumb enough to do this challenge, but I at least smart enough to know my limits. Plus, killing them was a waste of time. Inside, I knew I could not finish my puzzle with peace, so I must kill the Droggers. They weren't as tough as they were in Bleak Falls Barrow, thanks to my enchanted armor and jewelry, and my skill. I knew the Dragon Breeze in the end was going to be hard, so why should I bother? I ran and just entered the portal to Sovngarde. Basically insulted him on his cold, husky face. In Sovngarde, where everything was supposed to be fine and dandy, was, in fact, not fine and dandy, because Alduin was here. I need to reach the 3 heroes, but I have to pass soon in order to reach them. He bested me twice, but my will to survive his attacks reached maximum level, thus making me refusing to die in this afterlife. I did survive, and then I went inside the Hall of Valor. And you know what? For a heaven, it sure seems that there were not as many cheese as I imagined. The heroes and I shouted as loud as we could to remove the fog, while Alduin did the opposite. We eventually won the shouting contest and finally could end the life of the lizard. The battle was epic, and good thing was, we won. Soon then shouted me out from this cheeseless realm, and this is how I beat Skyrim with only fishing rod. Hello everyone, Popo Mancat speaking here. Popo sure is surprised that you make it this far. It has been a pleasure making this video, and Popo thanks you. Goodbye.